Yo, technical difficulties, man. Laptop giving up on me. But anyway, people, welcome to United Real Therapy, man. Welcome all. This is the preview for the Villa FA Cup game. So big up to every one of you in the space. Big up. Enough love and respect, man. Yeah, man, I see the same people, man. Yeah, man. I see the same people. Big up to every one of you. Much love. I hope you've had a wicked weekend. And I hope it's still bits to go in it. Still bits to go. Couple of hours to go before it's done. So yeah, big up. Man United didn't ruin my weekend this weekend, people. Man United didn't ruin my weekend. So, as we go from there, but are they going to be able to ruin our week? I think in the week everybody's busy with something, so fingers crossed they won't. So big up to every one of you in here. Much love and respect. Yeah, welcome to United Real Therapy. A lot of people are like, why are you ain't going live? Because I'm like, yo, I hate going live when there's no games going on. There's something to talk about. Is there previews? There match reaction? I hate going live when nothing's going on, man. So big up to every one of you, man. Well, bro, couldn't ruin my weekend. Joy. Yeah, man. It's all love and good. Big up to every one of you, man. Big up to every one of you. Yeah, so United Real Therapy. CM, how are you, bro? How's the family? How's everything? Everything good?
All good, you know. It's been a real situation where I've been staying away from United just for a little bit this weekend, you know. Just for my own sanity. Because, you know, I had work Saturday and today. So it's like can't be carrying in them bad vibes into one of them environments. And you know, sometimes you just have to know when to separate yourself from it.
100%. 100%. Yeah, man. I put the tweet out there, man. I was like, with the gifts going, yay! Man United didn't ruin my weekend, man. Hallelujah.
100%. 100%. I'm telling you.
And unfortunately, that's where we're at, people. That's where we're at. That we're going hallelujah because Man United didn't ruin your weekend. But are Man United going to be able to ruin some of our week, people? Are Man United going to be ruining some of our week? So big up to everybody in the comments, man. Love and respect to you all. Villa, very interesting game, Villa. For me personally, it's a game where it's a game where it's a very banana skin. I don't know how you feel about this. The biggest thing, the added thing to it is that Steven Gerrard, you know? Yeah, Steven Gerrard does not want Man United to ever win a coin toss. Forget about anything else. And United fans will be out in song tomorrow, and they will be singing, Steve Gerrard, he fell on his he gave it to them, Baba. Sarah. That's what I hear. I'll be hearing that. If I don't hear that song tomorrow, there's something else going on. So that's what will be going on tomorrow. So that's what I will be hearing tomorrow, more than anything. In terms of how they set up, Villa would be the worst team to play against this Man United team. This very narrow Man United team. To play in a way that is where they play, they have kind of a mid to low block and they set traps for you. Obviously, they play three in midfield, 4 at the back. Sometimes they do vary up because they've got more than 2 capable wing backs who can cross the ball, who like to get up high. But I think they're going to play 4-3-3. I think their best formation is 4-3-3. And I think narrow Manchester United and Man United, who don't have 2 guys who can't pass the ball in midfield, this is the perfect game for them. It's all set up for Steve Gerrard to be doing this to the Villa fans, running down the touchline to the Villa fans. Because if we go there naive tomorrow tactically, and we go with this 4-2-2-2 business, and they outnumber us in midfield, good night, Vienna. Good night, Vienna, people. That's how it is. Genuinely, that is how it is. We'll come to Maguire in a minute, people. So we're going to talk about the game. But CM, I'm going to ask you to begin with. Tell me about the game tomorrow in terms of Where do you see the game?
You
And
know,
how do you see it?
yeah, tomorrow, I don't know how to feel about tomorrow's game, to be fair. Because it's at the moment, I'm not really nervous about it, but I'm not also like ultra confident. I'm kind of in the middle. 'Cause I feel like Man United, they're a team that, especially in a cup competition like this, we can get the win, of course. But at the same time, based off of the last few performances, and you can only really base it off of those performances, especially the one against Wolves. Once again, you can't really have a high amount of confidence in anybody who steps into this team, whether it's one of the rotational players or just anybody that's, constantly in the starting 11.
Mm-hmm. Well, it definitely is. I think obviously we're at home, we can beat them, but I'm just talking about our current form. Bumbaye, welcome to the space. How you doing, bro?
Yes, bro. Big up yourself. CM, big up yourself. All the therapy army, big up yourselves.
We're just talking about Steven Gerrard. To me, I watched Rangers in the Europa League, and Steven Gerrard has shown himself to be more than capable manager. Since he's been at Villa, he's vastly improved them in terms of their physicality, in terms of their intensity, in terms of their tactical discipline, and he has also got the best out of players. That's a proper new manager bounce. But knowing the way I watched Rangers and how they navigated the Europa League, Rangers, because obviously the Scottish League is hard to judge. Them and Celtic dominate that league. But I was judging Steven Gerrard in the last couple of years in his team's antics or his team's forays in the Europa League, and he's a very capable. Now, I don't like Steven Gerrard because he's a Liverpool player and a Liverpool fan, and the fact that he was a fantastic player, and now he's looking like he's going to be a fantastic manager. So Steven Gerrard would not want Man United to ever win a coin toss. He would not want Man United. To me, tomorrow, that would give him one of the biggest satisfactions in his young managerial career. That would be the highlight for him so far. If he was to go to Old Trafford tomorrow and knock us out of the FA Cup, and I think possibly it could happen if we go into that game the same way that we did against Wolves. But Bumbaye, what do you know about Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa? Have you watched them closely?
Yeah, I've watched him 3 games under Stevie G. He's come in and they've won some, they've lost some, but he seems like a person that is diligent in his work. And they're doing all right. They're doing all right. They got the bounce. He's got them playing. He wants them to be aggressive. He wants them to press. And he commits men forward as well. He plays with the fullbacks going high. He gives McGinn the license to go in there. He plays with Ings and Watkins sometimes. So he goes for it. He seems like he's doing all right. His trajectory is positive. Rangers did well there. Did what he should have done, I think. And Villa's, quite a step up Premier League now. He's doing all right. He's doing okay. What are you asking me? I think if us 3 were managing Villa, we might have a chance of popping us. What are you asking?
No, I'm just saying to you, what do you think about his management and how drastically have Villa changed? Has he had a drastic?
I think Dean Smith is a good manager. I like Dean Smith. He's got good pedigree if you read a bit about him. But unfortunately, people get scared and they fire a manager because they think he can't dig them out of it. And maybe he couldn't, but Stevie G's come in and he's doing all right. He's doing all right. Villa look like they have the bit between their teeth. He's, they progress the ball well. They transition well. They commit men forward. He's not one of these low block coming. He comes to play his game and he's got to get them better defensively. They're leaking goals a little bit. That's one thing he needs to address. And set pieces, they're susceptible. So Stevie G has come out and said himself, I've got to fix that. And you can tell about a manager in interviews, I think. It's like Ollie is a nice guy, but he doesn't fill me with confidence. He doesn't have a commanding presence about him. Stevie G's, He's efficient with his words. He analyzes his games honestly, and he tells you, look, this is what was good, this is what was bad. So he's doing okay. It's a good progression for him, I think.
Yeah, interesting. Yes. Sam, have you seen any of Steven Gerrard? Have you watched any games of Villa under Steven Gerrard?
I think I've seen one game because I haven't been able to catch as much as I've liked to, even on most of them on Match of the Day. But I've seen about one full game, and like what Ali said, I've been impressed with the way they've started under him. They've been able to get results under the bag, and like you said, a lot of that is due to the manager bounce. But even during that period, you kind of look out for the little signs of what's to come, even after that bounce kind of removes itself and the team's back to playing normal, and you definitely see the signs of something where a team can, they're a solid team. Like you said, they've got two decent fullbacks who get forward. Their midfield is always a threat. They can get goals from there as well. I think, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they control the midfield tomorrow, like most teams usually do against Man United. And to be fair, it's down to how clinical they can be. And that's really, when I'm thinking about it, a lot of the teams that come against Man United, it's really about how clinical they can be when they get presented with the chances. Because it's either us creating our own mistakes or them kind of finding a way to get through and giving themselves the opportunity to score goals. But if a team's not clinical, like, for example, Burnley weren't, and they didn't get the result against us. So, teams need to kind of punish us more, if that's me being honest. Because I feel like we give away a lot of chances, whether it is mistakes or just honest chance creation. And we get bailed out sometimes by the opposition not finishing the chances.
Okay, interesting. So I think I genuinely, I've watched Villa. I watched a couple of Villa games because, like I said, I've been super impressed with Steven Gerrard in terms of judging Rangers in the Europa League, and how he sets up tactically, technically, how he gets the best out of players. And I think he's carried on with Villa. I think Villa are a completely different team. I think Dean Smith was a decent manager, but I think Steven Gerrard is a different level of beast, man. He's a different level of beast. He's a different level of... They stop at you, little rascals. I'm always battling the rascals. They're here. The kittens. But I think tomorrow it's all about Ralph. The way where we lose this game or win this game, it will be down to Ralph's tactics. I know some of you might think, oh, you're putting too much Ralph. I am. Because Ralph has to learn from the way we played against Wolverhampton, especially tactically. To me, they don't press as high. Sometimes they press high, but they're quite clever. They like to press more in midfield and the counter press, and then the attacking threat that they have. They have that. Tomorrow we could not be outnumbered in midfield. If they swarm the midfield tomorrow, they're gonna beat us. I think McGinn might be missing and the yellow cards and stuff like that for the league game, but I think he's fit to. He's all right to play tomorrow. I think it's United. I think we've got a couple of players that are out. I think. Oh, is it for the league game? I think no. Oh yeah, the suspensions only come to effect in the Premier League, not the FA Cup. So yeah, Scott and Fred can play tomorrow, but Man United go with two in midfield. We're gonna get murdered. We're gonna get slaughtered. The way we beat them is teams that we've kept the ball. The possession-wise, they're not that great in terms of possession. They're on average in terms of what their possession base. They're not so obsessed keeping possession. They like to keep possession that is effective possession. That they've got the ways how they go down the line with Watkins and Buendia, and now they're going to have Coutinho as well. I think Coutinho is going to be a big player. I think he might be registered to play tomorrow. I think he might already be registered to play tomorrow. I think Coutinho will be a massive match winner, and he already came to Old Trafford and damaged us. I remember him knocking us out of the Europa League under Van Gaal at Old Trafford. So he's another guy that I'm not looking forward to seeing at Old Trafford, if you want me to be honest with you. But Villa are a dangerous team. They're more of a cup team than they are in the league in terms of the inconsistency. I think those players can raise it. They've already won at Old Trafford this season. They'll be full of confidence. And I think everybody's going to be taking confidence from the way how easily Wolves bullied us and beat us up, really. But Bumbaye, so tell me about your team prediction tomorrow, man. What kind of a formation would you go for tomorrow? And who are you picking?
I'll go with Luke Shaw. I'll go with Phil Jones. I'll go with I think I'll go with Phil Jones. Bayern's not there. Varane, Diogo, midfield. Midfield, I would play Fred. Fucking hell, man! This midfield. Do you know what, man? Do you know, honestly, last week seems to be a prelude to this show. I don't want to ramble on. I think when I'm looking at this game here, the problem is, I'm lost. But CM did say something last week which resonated with me, which was, even when we suggest stuff, they're not doing that stuff. They're doing different stuff, and that different stuff looks like shit. So what would I play tomorrow? They've got three in midfield. Obviously, if we play two in midfield, we're all thinking they're going to have the lion's share of the ball. And if they're doing, they can... Steve's got to show them up. They're conceding goals. That's one thing they are doing. They are conceding goals. So he has to fix that. And their set pieces, they're susceptible at the moment. They're conceding some pretty bad goals. So tomorrow, what would I do? There's your back four. Fred, Matic, Donny van der Beek. Fred, Matic. Fred, Matic, Bruno. Do you know what? I'm lost, man. I swear. I don't even know.
Just hurry up, Marco. Okay, forget the midfield. Pick your top three.
Yeah, just look, man. Just play a game and put fucking hell. 4, 2, 3, 1. Do you know, here's the team. There's your four. Then you've got Matic sitting. You've got Fred, Bruno, Greenwood on the right, Rashford on the left, and Ronnie up front. There's a team. There's a team. Probably not even. That's a team. There you go. You tell me what yours is.
My team. CM, I'll go to you and you come back to me. Go on, CM. Who are you picking tomorrow, CM?
Yeah, I agree with the back four there from Ali. Midfield. That's the thing. Like you said, the midfield is. Do you have options? I'm probably putting Matic again. I really did want Donny van der Beek to get a game. Cause I feel like if he doesn't play this one once again, when is he really gonna play? So I feel like he probably has to start in this one, and if he doesn't, then geez, good luck. But yeah, probably gonna play with a midfield two again. So what? Donny, Matic, and then you got start Rashford, Greenwood on the right. Yeah, I agree with the front three as well. I look at our team at this moment of time, and I don't know if it's just me, but I just feel like the options, they're very, there's not a lot of options. Even though Ralph talks about we have a lot of squad players, it just seems like with every performance, the reliability of each and every one of our squad members just goes down and down and down.
That's it, 100%. When you look at the midfield, really, if you think about what we actually have, we've got different type of midfielders in there. You got like 6, 7 midfielders, but look at this. I'm struggling. I'm struggling because in my mind, you're going to ask me for a prediction. I'm going to probably tell you that we're going to sneak it. But deep down, my brain's saying to me, listen, don't be daft. It's saying to my heart, don't be silly. It could be another bad performance. We're not sure what we're going to get. So I'm like, got Donny, Bruno, Matic, Fred, McTominay, Lingard. And like CM just said, it's like, I'm terrified. Who do you put in there?
No, it's to me, it's simple. We play 3 tomorrow. For me, Fred plays, Donny plays, and Bruno. So that's who I would go for tomorrow. Those 3 people in midfield.
Okay.
That's what I'd go for because you got 2 guys who can pass the ball, and then the front 3 would be Greenwood, Sancho, and Ronaldo. Cavani will have to hit the bench for me. So I'll play 4-3-3, and I think with that team, you've got enough ballers who can keep the ball, who are ball playing guys. Because I'm sick of playing guys who can't keep the ball. Tomorrow, if we lose the ball in midfield, the way Scott McTominay and Fred give the ball away, we're going to get murdered. We are going to get murdered. So I'm not having that, me personally. And that's the team that I would go for. I would go for extra time United to win it 2-1. That's what I would go for. That's my being positive, like deep down positive. But that's if the formation's right. If we get older, because Ralph is really interesting. Ralph talks about control. Control for me is about controlling the midfield, and we're nowhere. So he's having 2 number 6s to control midfield, who both of them can't pass the football or can't retain possession. So I'm really dumbfounded with that. Really dumbfounded with it. So it's interesting, and the thing why Greenwood, because he's a match winner, he can shoot. I don't care if he's greedy anymore because Man United need to score goals. He can shoot, and I think we need to get some form into Sancho. So that's who I would start tomorrow. I think in the FA Cup, how many subs can you make in the FA Cup? Is it 3 or is it 5? Because I know that in the League Cup you can make. I think you can make 5 substitutions.
Do you know what? I just want to. Sorry, go on, bro.
At the clubs. Yeah, you can use 5 subs. You can use 5 subs.
So that's what I will start with, and then bring the substitutions. But if we go in midfield, dilly-dally in the midfield, we go too narrow, we're going to get torn apart tomorrow. Mark my words. We're going to get torn apart tomorrow. Mark my words. If we go too narrow and we start, they'll put some traps in midfield. They'll set some traps. Some of their block, sometimes they'll be aggressive. They'll press us high, but majority of their pressing is mid to low block, and then hit you on the counter. How they play, they play the ball forward quickly. They don't dilly doubt. They don't dilly dally. They don't do the dilly dallying where they want to keep one to no. They move it quickly, and they've got match winners: Watkins, McGinn, Guandia. They've got a lot of these players who can hurt you. The kid that's coming through the youth. If you know what, you don't know if they've registered him yet. I don't know. I'm not seeing anywhere telling me that Coutinho is not going to be able to play tomorrow. But if they registered him, he will play as well. He'll play sometime tomorrow. So that's where we are. But Man United have to have enough. But we can't go with 2 in midfield for me. And you need to play at least 2 guys. But listen, Van der Beek and Bruno tomorrow as a disciplined number 8, not attacking number 8. Disciplined.
Do you know when you play 2 midfielders against an opposing against 3? What is the idea? Obviously, you concede as a manager. They have an extra man in midfield, but I'm going to play 2. But what is the idea of how I'm going to win the game? how does that actually like translate on the pitch? Do you have any idea when you go two
Well,
against
that
three?
means
What's
that
the idea of how to be effective that way? Obviously, you free
well,
up another man.
yeah. Well, that means that you've got enough. To me, when you play with two, to me, you have certain arrogance. One is the fact that those two are phenomenal. Like for example, Kante and Djokovic played against three
Oh,
Liverpool. Liverpool against Chelsea.
Kovacic,
But those two,
Kovacic.
yeah, Kovacic, sorry,
Djokovic.
Kovacic. And Kovacic and Kante absolutely tore the two apart. But because they were supported by the wing backs, because the way Chelsea play, they play 3-4-3. That's how they play 3-4-3. So with the wing backs coming in and helping them, that made it so it looks like, yeah, officially you think, oh, three in midfield. But the way they play, Chelsea play that formation, they got the best out of Kokovic. I can't even bloody say his name, right? And Kante. Those two bullied them because they always had the two wing backs who were free always to take the ball and to help them, sometimes tucking inside and help them. The other thing is that the arrogance is that to say that we're so good on the ball that we're going to be in the opposition's half. So we don't want to play with three in the middle. We're going to want to play with two, and we're going to have one more attacking player. But there's certain games you can't do that. Manchester United are not good enough to play just two in midfield. We're not. We are not as a team. We don't function enough to play just two in midfield. I'm sorry to say we don't.
And you mentioned like the midfield earlier. It's like, that's a part of the spine on the pitch. And if you got two guys that lack composure, lack the ability to play forward passes and progress the play when it needs to be done, then that's the most important part of your spine that's lacking. And then that's where all of the issues come from. We create our own downfalls. And like you said, really, Ralph needs to learn from his past games. And once again, I have to say it feels like a broken record, but how many times are we going to say it and then not see it happen on the pitch? Why do we have to continue to go and see? It's like a vicious cycle almost, because we pray that something different is going to happen. And then we go out there, we watch the game, and we see the same thing and the same issues arising each and every time. And then we come back and we talk about it and we wonder, when will it change? Because we're seeing it and they're not.
Do you know, a lot's been made that all of a sudden since the Wolves game, it's kind of like retrospectively, the light has shifted a little bit from Oli onto the players and their efforts and their own personal problems and lack of application. So this is a real problem. If he gives them the way to beat Villa, they have to execute the plan, man. And Luke Shaw's interview wasn't good, and we've got problems in the dressing room apparently, and it's fractured. We have to solve these things, otherwise, man. Ralph Rangnick, he's got to get out the door whoever doesn't want to be here. It doesn't matter who it is, so that he can at least look and think, right, this is the tools I have to work with. These are the ones that believe in what we're doing here. And now I can go and add a couple of players, because if we go, I just really now, I'm going to forget about the midfielders and me saying Scott McTominay is good and Fred's good. Forget all that. I think the final part of it, of the signing saga that we've had is a central defensive midfielder or a central midfielder, man. That's what everybody's been asking for a long time. I just hope we get one or two of them, and I hope we don't kill them. They don't just come in and turn to shit. That's my fear, and they actually make a difference. But at least that will put that to bed. If we get, let's say, a Basuma, everybody likes him. I don't know, a Neves, a Declan Rice, then we can see, okay, is it this midfield? Is this going to significantly improve things? Again, I'm scared that we get them, we chew them up, they look lost, and we're no further along. But I hope we get them and Ralph starts to sell people that, are not going to be there, so that we can actually look at it and think, right, these are the ones that are staying. Because right now it's so all over the place.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. I think it was just, by the way, it was a Freudian slip from you. Ollie's not in charge anymore. It's Ralph. But it might as well. Ollie might as well be in charge. The way we're playing, nothing has
No,
changed.
I was saying, you know, before, bro, it was like Ollie, Ollie, Ollie. But now we look back at Ollie, it's like whether players applying themselves. That's what's being suggested now. That's what I was
Well,
saying to you.
at the end of the day, for me, is that when you've got the biggest wage bill, I think in world football at the moment, Man United have that. When you,
Yeah.
I think maybe other than Paris Saint-Germain, I think maybe we're level with them or we're close to them. Man United have 29 players, so of course there's going to be a lot of players who are not going to play, a lot of players who want to leave, and the club has decided to not to let them go. So that's playing against us as well. And those are the reasons. But quickly, I'll go to you. What do you think the score's going to be? You both said your teams, right? Did you manage to find your midfield? Who are you going to play in midfield, Bombaye?
Bro, I found them. I hope they find themselves tomorrow.
Yeah. But so what do you think the score's going to be tomorrow?
It's going to be 3-2 to us.
Okay, high scoring game. That's one thing they score a lot of goals. They do score.
They score and they concede.
Yeah.
You know, tomorrow he could play Watkins and Ings together, or he might just start with Watkins or Ings. We'll see how that goes.
I think the substitutions are going to be key tomorrow from both managers, 100%. I think what was I going to say? I think it's going to be a very interesting game. I'll be there tomorrow, so we'll be back here. Guys, there's 100 of you nearly in here. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Like, please, so that it gets the algorithms up so more people can see the video. It costs you absolutely nothing. So please smash a like. If we go 1-0 down tomorrow, we will lose the game. This Villa are not a team that you go 1-0 down because they've got quick players up the pitch. The counter-attacking is really quite good. So they're a very dangerous team to go 1-0 behind. Rani, this is what I have had to... You're not going anywhere to go and climb and smash up the flat. You're not doing that. You're going to chill here.
I mean, Manchester United under Mourinho, a little bit, we went on a winning run. We come back. We weren't losing, get 36 games. Then Oli came and we were, I think, didn't we do a record for like the most comebacks? I think half of our points came from losing positions. We just come back and come back and come back. And that was a positive thing. That shows a good mentality. Like, okay, we are shit, but we don't give up. We believe it's a work in progress, and we've got enough to come back into games. At the moment, it seems even the good things that we had before, that you think, you know what, we always come back. We're still in it. We're not played badly. We'll score. It seems that has gone out of us, and we're just going to have to break that curse. The players have to really come together now. It's a hard time, and the only reason that won't happen is because a lot of people want away. Anybody that has a doubt about being at Man United, I think the club need to understand they just have to sell that person. It does not matter who the player is. If you have just 1% of hesitancy about being there, and you're not there for the right reasons, then you really need to leave, and the club need to give you their blessings to go. I'd rather play a couple of boys from the 23s that want to live a dream and will die for that dream.
100%.
You know?
100%.
Dan James, man, Dan James is not up to the level, but honestly, Dan James can be proud of his time at United. That guy used to put shifts in, man. Shifts, takes the hits, up, down. All right, the quality wasn't there, but these guys, man, they have to understand where they are at. You know, you're here representing the Busby Babes history, man. The class of '99, the Cantonars, the people of Manchester. You're representing your people, your working people, your family, your own self, your performance. Fucking hell. Get your shit together, man. Put that stuff to the side and go out there and perform for yourselves at least. It cannot be fun losing games and getting whacked up every week when you're playing for Man United. It's surely it can't be, man.
And this is where the roles of, for example, John Murtough, Darren Fletcher, them. I think the other guy that's working with Murtough in the back as well. Even Ralph Rangnick to a certain extent. This is where their roles are really going to show, because we need to have a level of ruthlessness that's been missing towards the players that we've had in recent years. The reason why the squad has gone so big is because Ed Woodward really just let a lot of stuff fly, in terms of giving poor contracts, in terms of just letting players who shouldn't be at the club still be at the club. Funny enough, we praise Phil Jones for his performance, but realistically, he shouldn't have even been at Man United to play that game, because he spent how many years out injured. And, that's not a knock on him. Sometimes you're unlucky. Sometimes you get injured. But in the end of the day, if you want to treat a business like a business, you have to be ruthless. And that's what a lot of the successful teams are. Sometimes people say, this was a bit harsh. This decision may have been a bit too much. But in the end of the day, it works out, because they stay winning. Those Liverpools, those Cities, even Chelsea, even though they've had a little slip, those teams, they stay winning for a reason, because they don't favor people because of narratives, or they feel sorry for people, or they think, oh no, this guy's a good person that may be able to contribute or could develop down the line, even though they haven't developed for the last 3+ years. They say, all right, we haven't got what we wanted from this player now. It's time for you to move on, and for us to bring in someone else that could bring what we wanted in you.
It's true. I think just to carry on that a little bit, the contracts that are being offered and the wages that are being offered in order to secure and be attractive to a player are not the type of wages that you associate with somebody that hasn't really done anything. And the length of contracts are too long, they're too lucrative. David Beckham was watching the documentary. He said, these are the glory days where we were flying and doing things, and these kids, didn't cost the club anything, and they repaid the club. They would be given 2-year extensions. That's it, no more than 2 years. You have to work for the next 2. Not coming to give you 3, 4, and 5 years, big money, and then that's it, secured. 2-year contracts, like young man Jaden has come to us. He's on a big dough. Yeah, I'm not asked. Fair play to him. I'm happy for these guys. They could have been one of our boys. That's not the issue here. Mentioning somebody's wages, it's not my business. But from a contract perspective, if we are selling ourselves purely and attracting them because of the amount of money we're paying, and that is, the primary reason. We've seen it with Sanchez before, when City said, no, forget it, not doing it. And we came and give him that ridiculous money. You don't want to be doing that anymore. You need to meet halfway, and the player needs to say, look, I want to play for you. Do you know what I mean? I want to play in red, and I believe in what you're doing here, and I want to represent Man United. That's the kind of profile that I think you need to be searching for. That might mean that you might not get exactly what you want initially, but get a player that, is hungry to play, like Salah, like Mane, like how Liverpool do, man. Even City, they go and sign Sane for 40 million. They mold him, tweak him a little bit. Start doing a bit of that. They have, Salah, Mane, and Van Dijk are on about 180 to 200 a week. Again, I hate mentioning people's money, but Liverpool are miles ahead of us in this department. Miles ahead of us in this department.
Liverpool
And this is
wage structure. Majority of teams in and around us have got wage structure. City have a wage structure. Man United
we have to have
zero wage structure. We don't have a wage because we got run by bankers. Have you never seen the film Wall Street? When they
it's not good,
it's also part of the economics. I just want to educate some of the fans. Guys, there's 105 of you in here. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Liking it, smashing that like button is not going to cost you anything. But I just want to break this thing down for people. One of the biggest reasons why we call it Glazonomics is to retain players. It's so that other clubs, they'll know, no way, some of these mediocre players that we sign, they know they're not going to get any of this money anywhere else in world football. So that's a way as well that the Glazers trap, because the Glazers believe retaining an asset other than getting rid of somebody is too much hard work for them. I mean, the chief negotiator is a banker called Matt Judge, one of the three of the Bristol University fucking gang that run Man United. Right? So their idea is to retain players, to give them a bigger contract, to give them more weight in the contract. Right? That's what they do, to retain them, so that the players then realize, oh shit, I'm allowed to be mediocre at this football club. This football club is based on clickbaitery. It's based on sponsorship and doing photos and talking and all of this, and the Manchester United website, and there's a media propaganda machine behind it that hypes us up to it. A clear example I'm going to give you guys is Maguire mentioning all the other teams. Keep your mouth out of those teams, mate. None of you are good enough to lace one of the players that you mentioned in these boots. Why are you harping back to that? Because the PR people is telling them this is how you manipulate the fans. Hit them with a bit of nostalgia, you know what I mean, the history, or like Fergie's teams to win titles. And then he comes out and says, I could have gone anywhere else. Well, I wish you would. I was begging you to go somewhere else. I was begging you to go somewhere else. I don't want to be like that guy to tell people I told you so, but I was there. Check Saeed's channel. I was there talking about saying Maguire ain't the guy. Ask this guy here on this chat with me. I was telling him Maguire ain't the guy. And now Maguire is always a captain, and somebody in the comments was saying that any of the top clubs in Europe have a standard. He won't be captain. He'll be stripped of the captain and got rid of. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about a well-run football club, structured football club. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not ranting and raving for nothing. I'm trying to get to especially younger fans to understand, if the back of house ain't in order, the front of house is going to look silly. And that's what it is. That's why the likes of Luke Shaw, March, any of these teams, you can name whoever you want to name, they're on extraordinary money. Extraordinary money. And these players are not stupid. Jones is a guy who typifies that. He's realized the amount of money he's on at United, no other club will ever give him that money. So he's like, well, I don't care. I'm injured. I'm not leaving. I'm sitting on the bench for 9 years. That is what's going on at the tip of it. Now we've got an opportunity. We've got one chance with Ralph. Any project that Ralph Rangnick has ever been involved has always been, especially in recent years, about the football structure. And it's going to take time. Now, officially, the club was asked when Richard Arnold's PR spin was done the other day, that officially the club was feeding to their cronies in the media that within 5 years, Man United expect to challenge for the league. For that to happen, for me, Ralph Rangnick has to have complete control. Complete control. Even if we fail on the Ralph in terms of the football structure, I guarantee you it will be a lot better than the past 9 years, 10 years nearly. Because the bankers don't have a clue. He has got a proven record of scouting and finding gems, younger players. And this is where I'm going to come to you, Sam. Do you think Manchester United understand the hierarchy? The bankers understand that this is a crucial period that can affect the next 5 to 10 years. Do you think they realize that?
I think to a certain extent they did. And I think that's why they made this particular appointment and didn't rush into trying to get a manager straight away, full-time manager straight away, because I think they realized that in a guy like Ralph Rangnick, like you said, he's a guy that could shape your future in terms of fixing the structure that has been somewhat the problem in this club, actually fully the problem. So, you know, I think in terms of the board, it's a funny situation because they've done so much in these few years, in these several years, to be fair. It seems like they've gone and tried every option. So I feel like the only problem really standing was them. And I don't think they wanted to acknowledge that until they tried every other thing in the book. So I think they had to realize at some point, well, we've tried everything and it hasn't worked. So now we need to start shaking this up. And, you know, God help us. I really do hope that everything goes the right way and everything is reshaped to an expectation where we will be a winning club again. But, you know, nothing is guaranteed to work out in the end of the day. And with these guys in charge, there will be mistakes made along the way. And we just have to have faith and hope that even if we do make mistakes along the way, they will know how to navigate out of those, you know, crossroads and make the right turning.
Yeah, well said, man.
I'll ask you the same question. To me, the only thing that I will preface this is vagueness in terms of Ralph's position. Ralph is the interim. Ralph's not going to be the manager next season. Man United have to find a manager, right? And I'm hoping they do everything to try to find a manager. Ralph is giving us a consultancy, where Ed Woodward's going to have as well. Now, how much power is that consultancy going to have? How much are they going to listen to him? Listen to him in terms of him being a sporting director. We've already got director of football. That is John Murtagh. A technical development director. That is supposed to be Darren Fletcher, but Darren Fletcher's also a coach as well. He's doing everything at this moment in time at his football club. But if Ralph Rangnick is allowed to be the sporting director and looks at the whole football structure, and he has to build a whole football structure and look at for it tooth and comb, right? Top to bottom, looking at that specific football structure, putting a wage structure in place, buying players of a certain age, right? Having a good player now and again, and then getting a manager in that has got a clear, defined system. Because in modern football, people, it's about the system. Liverpool and City keep players because they win things, they're competitive, and plus they've got a system that gets the best out of everybody. So that's the reason why City have a harmonious and why Liverpool have a harmonious squad, because they have football. The way they set up, they've got managers who are very domineering, managers who know what they're doing, who players trust. Look at the amount of players that Pep Guardiola's improved, the amount of players that that Klopp has improved. And the thing about Klopp is that they do it like Man United. They make their money. They don't go and splash out a lot of money all of the time, but they stay competitive. So I'll ask you the same question. Do you think this vagueness of this kind of sporting, like this consultancy, needs to be solidified, and Ralph Rangnick needs to be given the 2-3 years to put the plan in place that he needs for Man United to be competing for a league title in 5 years, 6 years time? Or do you think they're not thinking like that? They're just thinking a manager will come. Ralph, thank you very much. We might ask you for your advice here and there, but you're not going to have any much control.
Well, what needs to happen is what I will address. What they decide and what happens, you know, who knows. But I think what needs to happen is 6 months with possibly continuing in the job, depending on how it goes. But any player that feels he's going to rest on his laurels because this manager has only got 5 months left is a little bit mistaken and is got no foresight, because he may remain the manager, and if he's not the manager, he will be moving upstairs, and he needs to be given the kind of control where he is the mediator on all aspects of football, from, you know, executive, contract signing, scouting, whatever level, all the way down, and then he hands it over to the manager. He's not here, if he goes upstairs, to tell the manager how to play football. He's going to have a crack at doing it now. I think that's a personal thing. He's, you know, he's taking it on. He likes the challenge. But the real work for Ralph Rangnick will be to sort out the issues that are resulting in us accruing a lot of players that are very difficult to shift on, who don't have the profile, and they're not coming into the club with a clear, defined vision and objective to know exactly what they're going to be part of and what is the expectation here and what are the levels that they will be expected to reach. I think this is a major problem at United. It's drifting, and this team is an amalgamation of 3-4 teams over a long period of time. CM was saying, you know, the board, they have, you want to sign 80 million Maguire, here you go. You want to sign Sancho and pay him this much, here you go. You want to get Ronaldo back, here you go. Pogba maybe now looking at £400,000 to £500,000 a week. This kind of thing is the kind of thing that he will have to fix. And he's going to have to, you know, have control over these things. The board can't say, look, we need to keep this player because he brings this much. Forget that stuff. If you win on the pitch and you lift trophies, the money will come. Liverpool now went from, you know, 6 years ago, the value of the club has gone up exponentially. And they have only spent 35% of somebody like Man City and Man United. You know, they have been a revelation. 95 points or something. They don't win the league, come back the next year and win it. Champions League final twice. This is phenomenal. You know, they have got exactly what Ralph Rangnick prides himself on. Klopp had a vision. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. They said to him, here you go, this is what you want to do, but you have to work within this financial framework of ours, this wage structure. You have to be smart with who you sign. But he knows that. So I think Ralph, give him full control. The board have made a good decision. And when you read a little bit about Ralph, you think, yeah, man, this is what we need to start addressing that structure a little bit, you know, and God willing, man, this is what will happen. It's going to be a busy summer in terms of ins and outs. Ralph is still finding out about a lot of these players. I think he's found a lot out already. But you're not just going to be able to shift 10, 15 players, go and get the other ones in. There'll be work being done now, preparing for all this stuff. And I just hope, I keep saying it, Ralph has got the courage to say to anybody, look, I don't fancy you. You're not part of my plans. You know, sorry, Malcolm, I know this guy's got 500 billion subscribers on his Instagram following, but he's not the guy we need. We need to go and get this guy. I know you've never heard of him, but this is what we need. That's what I want to see. Give somebody full autonomy, full controlling. And the board has to back whoever. This has been a bad thing for all the managers. You've got to back the manager. If you're going to pay him and believe in him, the players have to see that they can't run to you behind his back, knowing that you've got their back. If you come to the board, he has to say, no, I'm sorry, mate. He's the boss. You go to him. What he says goes. That's full control. So if we can start to do something like that, I hope, inshallah, we will start to reap the fruits of that labor. And I'm not thinking about winning Premier League. I'm not thinking about winning Champions League, believe me. I'm just thinking about getting a very jumbled up club in order and then starting to see things progressing slowly on the pitch and just enjoying it a little bit again.
Well, it's going to be very interesting at the end of the day for me. It's because Man United are who we are. Who we are. Big up Nadim. Big up, brother. I hope everybody's good. I hope family's well. And big up to everybody in the chat. Please smash a like on the video. It costs you nothing. We just had over 120 people in the space. So please like. It costs you absolutely nothing to get the algorithm up so more people will see. Be able to see the video. The kitten are going crazy, man. Absolutely scratching the hell out of me, but it's all good. Scrolls has been naughty, as usual. I want to just go to this. He says, it's not possible, but I wish we could ban social media. The thing about social media, Nadim, is that they'll never ban it. They actually, all the players have social media commitments for the club. That's how they attract sponsors, because we are on a stock exchange. It's all about bringing in investors, people who are going to buy shares. That's what this club is not. We're not a football club. We're not a football club. We are a money-making scheme. So for me, if I went in there and I had the power of Man United, that's the first thing I would do. That department would be shut. I would get rid of everybody in that department. All of these hyping players and media, propaganda. We have the best propaganda in world sports. The biggest and the best propaganda in world sports. We think we are. And you know what? Because all of us are United fans, we love this football club. We start to believe it. So we get slowly brainwashed. Even though we're the most critical, we get slowly brainwashed into thinking, oh, we're going to do something. We're going to be this. We're going to be that. We're not going to be this. We're not going to be that. At the end of the day, Ralph is not going to be the manager. Ralph is the guy that they're hopefully going to consult, or is going to give a permanent position in terms of to deal with the football side of this football club. The manager who's going to come in, Ralph and other people have to work together to identify the players. But the most important thing for me is that we need to get a manager that has a distinct, defined system of playing, a style of play, because with that, you can attract the right players to fit into that system and you can improve. We can look at Liverpool and City. Look how many players they've improved. In the 9 years at Man United, who did we improve? We've not improved anyone. I can not harp on to anything, but to me, more than anybody, Harry Maguire showed himself up for what he is. He has showed himself up for what he is. He's not this Man United level. He's not at this Man United level. And he's never been a captain. He'll never be a captain material at Man United. He's just not. That's me personally. I've got nothing against him. I want him to be that guy. I want every player at Man United to be that guy. The hype, the social media. They've got a new thing now. When players play after the game, they've got them to do like a 5-second videos now to go, oh, even if the player might have been injured, so the players go, I'm fine. That's what we're about. We've got Neil Ashton spouting again now, working for Ed Woodward and Richard Arnold, going around. This is what we are. I know reality hurts, but you have to. That's all I'm here to convey, people. I've been banging on about this since Jose. I've done my research. Don't take anything I say for truth. Research this for yourselves. It's not all the managers have failed. It's not all the managers we've had that were horrendous. It's the club is rotten because the model of the club is to get dividends. The other day, I think it was a Friday. I think it was Friday or next Friday. I could be mistaken. The Glazers get 11 million dividends. For what? I think we're the only club, we're the second club or the first club in the Premier League that does that, where the owners take dividends like that. They've took the club over with using our own money. We've paid 2 million in dividends. And the worst thing is that we've spent money on billion in the last 9 years, billion and a bit on transfer. On who? Because you've been giving the money to people who don't know what the hell they're doing. It's might as well give it. It's about, imagine giving £1,000 to a 5-year-old kid and taking them to a sweet shop.
Bro, look, Man United, this Man United has been in this position before Alex Ferguson came. There was some very high-profile players in those days, and he came, and he had full control, and he said, "Listen, new regime, completely new regime. I'm not changing." And a lot of players left that were fan favorites, big players, and there was uproar from the fans, but it was for the better. And it went on to become a real
full of alcoholics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now you seem to be, I'm not saying that they're alcoholics. We've got a similar issue here. Ralph, you are the man. Fix this. That's what has to happen. And Ralph,
what you're not understanding is that Man United were not built as that Man United that you're talking about was a football club. At its heart, even though we got the appointment managers wrong in the 70s when we got relegated, when we came back
you've
up.
Got to understand something here. Look,
that football club was owned by the Edwards family. Martin Edwards was in charge and backed Fergie to the hill.
I know what you're saying.
Scouted the league, got rid of all of those players, a lot of the alcoholism that was going around, That was a big thing in English football. That Man United, you think Ferguson would survive with that Man United, with what social media is now? And with the biggest propaganda machine in sport history.
Nuruddin, Dino, I know what you're saying, bro. What I'm trying to say here is the Glazer family are under no illusions that if every fan was asked, he would say, we'd like different owners unless you start to mend your ways. Okay? Now, be careful what you wish for. The problem with the Glazers is simple. Look, they have splashed the cash. They've been like a very rich... but this is what I'm getting to. They're like... It's like a rich father that doesn't actually spend any time with his son, and he just gives his son money to solve his problems and think everything will be all right. But really, the son is digging himself deeper and deeper because he needs a dad. That's what the Glazers have been like. They have just said, look, what do you want? Here you go. Here's the money. We're making loads of it. Go and buy success. Go and do it. It doesn't work. And I think they finally realized that. And what they've realized is they are very, very, very unpopular. So if they want to keep the club and run the club, it's not going to be sustainable with this level of animosity and reproach from the fans. And it's only going to get worse if the performances on the pitch continue like this. This is why Ralph, listen, this is why Ralph Rangnick has come in. And I hope, I can't say what's going to happen for sure. The penny has dropped, right? We need to change shit up. We might even be able to be successful on less than what we're paying. If he thinks that we don't need this, we need to let him do what he needs to do, because he's been good at building clubs, restructuring clubs, you know, setting parameters in clubs. And these parameters have to work not only for these players, these big high-profile players. It has to rip right through to the youth, because there has to be, in exchange for, you know, giving you money, we're going to give you a pathway to the first team if you're hungry enough to get it. And then you will have a platform to prove you are worth the kind of money that you'd like to be earning. Earn your contracts. So I think this is a very, very good appointment, Ralph Rangnick, because it's not just the manager. If it was just the manager, Ten Hag's just the manager, Conte's just the manager. They're good managers. Their time is going to come after Ralph Rangnick. And when they come, Ralph Rangnick will be up there to say, look, this is what we went from. This is where we are now. I'm here to work with you. We both want to win. But this is the ethos with which we have to operate in for the benefit of the club. I don't want to go back to having 10 midfielders. Half of them want to be here. The other half don't want to be here. Everybody's pissed off because you look at City. I tell you what, man, I look at City. Bernardo Silva's on the verge of getting sold. Pep Guardiola holds him, then unleashes him. He's having the season of his life. It's happened with Mahrez as well. Then we heard about Sterling. Oh, it might be going Newcastle, Arsenal. Holds him back, unleashes him. Out of the last 3-4 games, he's got man of the match twice. He's firing again. This is what you want, a team where, you know what, we're happy we're part of this team and we are going to ready to step in to kill it. We don't have that. This is going to take time, because at the moment, what's going to take time is not just getting the football and all that bullshit right. We have to get rid of a lot of people. We have to clean house a little bit, let the dust settle, and start taking stock of where we go next. It's a big summer. Nothing much is going to happen in January, in my opinion. Nobody's really going to come in nothing. We just have to get this season through. Yeah. There's no point, bro. If you go and bring a kid in now, he might just get swallowed up in the melee of division, comes into a team that's shit.
We've got 29 players. Unless 5-6 leave in January, we're not going to get anybody in. Facts.
Listen, do you know what?
I want to ask the CM this question. I'm going to answer this question. Manchester United have just asked, and City, Liverpool, other players not using social media. No, they do use it, but not that they have. Those two clubs have not built, even though they have the right to, because
they're a team. They're a winning team. They're a team. They're a united team. You watch. When was the last time you saw a YouTube video? I was watching today the FIFA ratings, cameras going to the Liverpool ground, everybody's friends, laughs, jokes. When's the last time you see anything like that? United, Manchester United, Khayyat, is a team. And if you have any integrity, stay away from social media. Don't say sorry. Don't say anything. Pull up your boots, man, and go and perform. Take stock of your own performance, even if the team's
I just
shit.
want to say,
Liverpool, bro, they have the right to be on social media and City.
they don't
They
do it.
are fantastic.
They're focused on the football. They do have moments of social media, but they mainly focus on the football. They let their football do the talking.
Yeah.
But Manchester United, the way we're set up, is that the club is actually pushing this whole media narrative onto the players. 100% facts. So that's the reason. CM, we'll leave you with the last comment, bro. Tomorrow, let's say we're out and we lose tomorrow. What do you think is going to happen?
What can really happen? I mean, I don't know. We're just gonna have to continue, and Ralph Rangnick's gonna have to continue his work on the pitch, on the training pitch, and hopefully all we can do is, once again, if that does happen, all we're gonna do is question some of the performances. I'm sure question some of the decision makings of the coaches, of course, Rangnick, the players, of course. But all we can do really is speak about that, and then hope that on the training pitch, he's doing the work and the players are doing the work. In the end of the day, going back to the last question, back in the days when footballers were footballers, the biggest way of apologizing to the fans or saying sorry was putting your boots on, training hard, working hard throughout the week, and rewriting your wrongs on the football pitch when you have the opportunity to do that. And now with this social media thing, I'm not saying, oh, you stay off social media, you don't say anything, because in the end of the day, this is the age we live in. But you have to act with a level of integrity, a level of personal pride. And I keep on going on about that because I genuinely feel like these social media apologies, these posts after we've just lost a game, it shows a lack of pride, a lack of integrity, a lack of wanting to be successful, and it makes you look like a joke, really. And that's what Manchester United look to anybody looking from the outside right now. We are a joke of a club. Like you guys continue to say, our structure is poor. And Ali said, I'm not looking to win the league. I'm not looking to win the Champions League. And he couldn't be any more correct, because in the end of the day, I'm just looking to get a whole load of these players out who don't have the right mentality, who've been corrupted by a system up top. And I'm looking for that system to be corrected, that structure to be corrected. How that's going to happen at this point of time, I do not know. But I just pray I see a guy in Ralph Rangnick who can sort out the footballing structure. But at the same time, I just hope that the guys above him are going to listen to him, support him in every which way, so that he does have the true power and not just suggestions. Because right now I feel like this consultancy thing and him not knowing what his role was immediately, it's all shady, and there's something not right about that. It doesn't rub me well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm going to have to end it, but Red Clarion Call, big question. Is running a top 2 English Premier League side less financially attractive than subsidizing or scrapping the top 4 and add a lower tier trophy? I don't get that. I'm dyslexic, so maybe I'm not understanding your question. But Manchester United, it's very unique. It's no other football club. We've had a guy who's at the helm nearly 30 years, who did everything, who kept us competitive, who built teams and rebuilt teams and sold players. Manchester United don't do that. Manchester United don't do that. And unfortunately, we are now, the bankers are playing musical chairs. So it's Arnold's turn to have a go. With Matt Judge, he's the best buddy who's the head of the negotiating in terms of who has zero. He does nothing about football. Everybody in the comments know more about football than Matt Judge or Richard Arnold or Edward would do. But these people have ruined us. These people are a big part of the ruinings of Man United. And I think it's going to have to get a lot worse before it gets better. I wish I could be super optimistic and say this is and that, but I can't, because I know too much. I look beyond the headlines. I get caught up in it, like every one of you, because I'm just a fan, like all of you guys, like we all are. But we can no longer be lied to. fish always rots from the head. Always. Always. And one thing I will disagree with Bombaye, the times, it's not just that they spent money, but the times that Man United needed to back the managers and spend the money, they didn't. The times that when Man United were out of the Champions League, that's when they panic. That's when they spend the money. So when you say they spend the money, it's when do they spend the money, though? That's the crucial question. The Glazers have spent money when they thought, oh, damn, we're not bringing the world's eyes onto Man United. We're not bringing sponsorship and commercial sponsors. So we need to spend money so that we can get in the top four. That's why they were the architects and actually pushing for the Super League, because that would be guaranteed. Ollie would have been there for 20 years. If the Super League would have been there, it would have been there 20 years. Because you know why? You don't get relegated. It's like American football. You know, there's no promotion or relegation. So you just stay there. Stay there. And that's what it would have been. But anyway, big up to every one of you. Let's hope we win tomorrow. Like I said, we've got one of our arch enemies, Liverpool-inspired Steven Gerrard, will be there tomorrow. He's looking to damage us. He's looking to. Let's hope that the players that are wounded animal and like they can harbor on the energy of all Man United teams. When the whole world was against them, when they were against the wall, like, you know, their backs to the wall, they would come out and fighting. So let's see what happens tomorrow, because all of this talk was just cheap for me. I don't want any PR spun kind of interview that was done with Harry Maguire and the waffle that he was speaking about. Like, especially using past glory, living in the past of former great manager and great players. And saying that, oh, to me, that was the worst comment. I said, I could have gone anywhere else.
What are you trying to prove? Really?
The
What are you trying to prove?
The man's bantering us, you know. He's like, you're lucky to have me. It is what it is, people. But please, on your way out, smash a like on the video. See them, let them know where they can find you, bro. And tell them about your work as well.
I appreciate you for having me on once again, Nuruddin. Yeah, CM22, ENT on all socials, YouTube and Twitch, just like on YouTube, gaming videos, and I also do a series centered around Man United, which ain't too good right now because there's not a lot of joy, but you know, we continue moving and hoping and praying.
Yeah, man, big up. You can find Bombaye on here. If you miss on Paris, he says he's raining. Yeah, he's got his thing with Boris. He loves Boris, really. Boris is his boy. But you can find him on here. Please, like I said, on your way out, smash a like.
People might actually think you mean that. Do you understand the name?
Boris is not your boy, man. I couldn't have a Tory on this channel. Are you kidding me? Anyway, big up to all my Tory supporters out there, man. Tory therapy army. If you're there. Actually, you know what? Tories don't like telling truth in it. So this is the truth channel, mate. This is the channel where we speak our truth, man, and how we feel about Man United. But anyway, big up to every one of you. And we'll see you tomorrow night for the match reaction. Let's hope it's a good one. I know
for the celebration, man. For the celebration,
one thing I'm going to guarantee tomorrow is that Steve Gerrard song is going to be sang around the whole stadium. 100%. Especially when he walks out. And the other word after that's going to be, you scouse bastard. Man United fans, mate, that's what they sing. Honestly, I look around and go, how can you hate the whole Scousers? But to be fair, Liverpool fans sing the same. You man bastards. You know, that's what they sing. I've been there, actually. I've been at Anfield when they're singing Manchester. They sing a song and the Manchester is just full of poo. That's what they sing. That's where their song is like, Manchester. Well, because we sing a song, Manchester's Wonderful. And they remix that song. And they sing Manchester's full of shit. That's what they sing. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of banter tomorrow. Let's hope Steven Gerrard is disappointed when he heads down the tunnel after 90-something minutes. And we cannot afford it to go to, extra time. But it might go to extra time, or they might just bang us. But anyway, peace, love, and light, people. Keep it locked. We'll lose or draw. Glazers out. Bankers out. Thank you, CM. Thank you, Bombaye. And catch you tomorrow. Hopefully these guys will be on here as well. Peace.
Peace.
In a bit.